What's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say Mormon?
Missionaries?
Polygamy?
Republicans?
Stereotypes about Mormons are everywhere.
And we're here to dispel 5 of them. Stereotype number 1. All Mormons are LDS. So it's true that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints makes up about 98% of the entire Mormon population, but actually it's just one of hundreds of offshoots that broke off from the original church that Joseph Smith restored. Among all of these hundreds of offshoots are groups like the Community of Christ, the FLDS, the AUB, the Kingstons, the Bicker Knights, the RLDS, the LDS, which is my group, and most recently there's a group forming called the Remnant Church. There are so many. It's actually really fascinating to get all of these groups together in one spot to talk about their shared heritage, their shared history, find out what makes them different, what makes them the same, and how they live their religion today. And there's one place that it's happening every year, and that's at the Sunstone Salt Lake Symposium.
Stereotype number 2. Mormons are homophobic. It's true that the LDS Church has been in the news a lot because of its attempts to fight gay marriage, and its infamous November 2015 policy to not allow the children of married homosexual couples to be baptized has further cemented the church's reputation. There has also been an explosion of conversations about how homosexuals might fit in within Mormonism. Take a look at the website Mormons and Gays on LDS.org, for example. Mormons are hungry to have these conversations. And Sunstone is one of the places where we can have these conversations. Just take a look at this year's lineup of presentations and panels. We'll be pretty much talking about everything.
Mormons are all political conservatives. I mean, Glenn Beck, Mitt Romney. Well, I've got 3 more names for you. Harry Reid, George Romney, and Martha Hughes Cannon. Haven't heard of her? She was only the first female United States senator. She beat out her own husband in the election. Mormonism actually has a deeply liberal streak at its roots. Take a look at King Benjamin's speech in the Book of Mosiah, or the early Mormon practice of the United Order, or the fact that the Republican Party was created specifically to eliminate polygamy, which meant the Mormons. Yeah, there's a lot of political root in Mormonism, but you don't hear about it much, unless you go to Sunstone Symposium, where conservatives and liberals are always talking with each other.
Stereotype number 4. Mormons are the group most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Well, that's actually entirely true.
Stereotype number 5. Mormons don't know their own history. To be fair, Mormons have almost 200 years of history, and that's a lot to keep track of. It's not that Mormons don't know their own history, it's just that Mormons don't know a lot of the weird parts of their history, which is a shame, because Mormonism is so interesting and so weird. Ask anyone that studied Mormon history, you start studying it, and you get hooked. You learn that maybe Mormons weren't always stalwart and righteous people, but something else you learn is that Mormons are always interesting. Always. If you want to hear some of those weird and interesting stories, come to the Sunstone Salt Lake Symposium. You'll leave there with an addiction to Mormon history. And that's an addiction you won't have to tell your bishop about.
All Mormons think alike. After all, we all dress as if we're trapped in a 1950s Sears catalog. But really, each of us has a personal approach to Mormonism, a set of experiences and insights we can share. All we need is the right kind of space and group we can trust. People come back to Sunstone year after year because they find themselves invigorated and nourished by the open, compassionate, and respectful community that we offer.
And we want you to be a part of it this year.
And yes, you will be entirely safe from zombies.
We want you to be part of it